A consultant analysis of data-driven identity marketing. Spotify Wrapped is often described as a fun, viral end-of-year campaign. From a digital marketing perspective, however, it is better understood as a data-driven identity construction system. The campaign converts first-party behavioral data into personalized narratives that users feel psychologically motivated to share, effectively outsourcing distribution to users while strengthening long-term platform retention and lock-in. Spotify Wrapped was designed to achieve several strategic objectives simultaneously. First, it reinforces retention by reminding users of the long-term value Spotify provides over time. Second, it reframes continuous data collection as a consumer benefit rather than a privacy cost. Third, it generates large-scale earned media by embedding social sharing directly into user experience. Crucially, Wrapped is not a single communication, it operates as an integrated digital system spanning the Spotify app, social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok, and earned media coverage, ensuring message consistency and amplification across channels. At its core, Spotify Wrapped operates through a value exchange mechanism. Users provide ongoing behavioral data, such as listening time, skips and repeats, and in return receive personalized insights that feel emotionally meaningful. Importantly, RAP does not foreground surveillance. Instead, it reframes data into identity-affirming stories. It does not say, "This is what we tracked." It says, "This is who you are." Rap transforms abstract data into a personal narrative, your year, your taste, your listening personality. This creates psychological ownership where users feel that the content belongs to them. As a result, sharing Wrapped feels like self-expression rather than advertising, which explains the unusually high willingness to distribute branded content voluntarily. Spotify also designs Wrapped for frictionless export; visual formats, captions, and layouts are optimized for platform-specific sharing, enabling organic algorithms amplification across social networks. In effect, Spotify converts users into distribution channels, significantly reducing reliance on paid media while increasing authenticity and reach. From from an effectiveness perspective, Spotify Wrapped consistently delivers high engagement, organic reach, and cultural relevance. Strategically, it strengthens Spotify's competitive advantage in first-party data at a time when third-party tracking is declining. More importantly, Wrapped deepens platform dependency by making Spotify feel personally irreplaceable rather than functionally interchangeable. D- Despite its strengths, Spotify Wrapped introduces several strategic and ethical risks. One risk is identity oversimplification, where complex listening behaviors are reduced to fixed labels, potentially reinforcing algorithmic stereotyping. Another concern relates to data transparency. While users consent to data collection, the logic shaping Wrapped's narratives remains largely opaque, raising questions around informed consent and behavioral nudging. Finally, there is a long-term trust risk if users begin to perceive personalization as prescriptive rather than reflective. My recommendations: Spotify should introduce an optional transparency layer within Wrapped that explains which data categories were used and how insights were generated. This would strengthen trust without undermining engagement. Secondly, Spotify should offer a privacy-first wrapped mode that provides deeper personal insights without social sharing prompts, supporting user autonomy and reducing personal perceived coercion. Spotify should reduce rigid identity labels in favor of behavioral storytelling that reflects listening patterns as dynamic rather than fixed, encouraging exploration and reducing stereotyping. Wrapped should scale in depth rather than frequency, offering lighter versions for casual users and richer insights for highly engaged users. This improves relevance while preventing data fatigue. Lastly, Spotify should avoid dark pattern sharing nudges and introduce clearer signals around public visibility, reinforcing responsible persuasion and long-term brand trust. Spotify Wrapped demonstrates how data-driven personalization can generate emotional value, cultural reference, relevance, and organic growth at scale. However, its long-term success depends on balancing engagement with transparency and identity affirmation with ethical responsibility. For digital marketers, Wrapped is not just a campaign, it is a blueprint for how data identity and trust intersect in the modern digital economy. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening.